A question that I get a lot is, when I am super attracted to someone right at the jump, is that a good thing or is that a bad thing? And how do I not sleep with them too soon? So here's what I want to tell you. There is nothing sexier than being super attracted to someone from the start, right? You're like kind of thinking about what it looks like without their clothes on, or they're just so funny. Like, they're like, oh, do you want to take out the trash? And you're like, of course, I'll take the trash out. Like, you just like, everything about them is just so amazing. The problem with this is that you can slip into fantasy addiction, which is the compulsive need to fantasize about how great life would be like with them. And what happens is you miss a ton of red flags because you put them on this pedestal that they are greater than, better than you, whether it's the amount of money they make, how they communicate, how they look, their six pack, whatever. And so what I want to encourage you to do is to really look at this thing. It's chemistry plus connection equals compatibility. You want to make sure that, sure, chemistry wise, you guys are really attracted to each other. But as we all know, looks fade. So let's talk about connection, right? So the sex becomes much greater when you have a connection with someone where you feel safe, heard, and understood. Please note that for women specifically, right? Those who identify as women, they specifically want to feel safe, heard, and understood. This goes for non-binary as well, but just go with me here. For men, they have a deep desire to not be criticized or controlled, okay? So, and again, those who identify as men. So what I want to encourage you is that we all have different needs, okay? And so being able to give yourself what you need is really important to create connection within a relationship. Now, most people confuse these two. Most people, when they are around somebody whom they think is really hot and super attracted to, they often would say, oh my gosh, our connection is so strong. Like, they're so nice, they're so great, I'm having such a great time with them. And I'm like, no, boo, you just think that they're hot. But what can you tell me about how they interact with their parents? How about when you two get in a disagreement with one another, or what it's going to be like when you are, how do they feel about money? Are they really good with it? Do they always feel like there's never enough? How often do they communicate? Do they communicate too much? Not enough? You know, I'm all about that Goldilocks right in the middle. So I think it's really important to then be able to spend time with them. I'm a big proponent of quality time. That is huge for me in order to truly get to know someone and see if there is a strong connection. So doesn't mean you have to rush through and see them many times during the week. I actually strongly advise not to do that. If you want to date differently and get different results, then spacing out how often you talk to them and spacing out how often you see them at the very beginning, specifically I would say within the first 3 weeks, give or take, is a really great indication of how you can become more compatible with somebody. So again, chemistry plus connection equals compatibility. So take what you will from that in health and happiness, y'all.